Hello everyone, I'm back. Look, in case you don't know who I am, my name's Sam and I am one of the mentors over on at TRADERCOBB. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a scan of the top 10. First and foremost, if you haven't already, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of that. It helps the algorithm and we will appreciate it a lot. Anyway, let's get into it. First of all, how is everyone? Let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're going. If you've taken any trades recently, any questions, I'm definitely more than happy to answer them. All right, so let's have a look at Bitcoin. We have had pretty good couple of, days. Let's have a look at where we are on the weekly. The weekly's starting to look a little bit better now. We're still in no man's land at the moment where we're traveling. The monthly saw a nice bullish candle here. We've broken the high of that. And if you are familiar with the strategies, you'll know that that's quite significant. That usually means that we'll see a continuation of trend. Doesn't always happen, but it happens. And it's obviously it's not a guarantee, but it's if you're familiar with our strategies, you will understand why I'm saying this. Let's have a look where we are right now. So we pulled back almost to the 61.8% fib level. And now we're pushing on. Obviously, I want to see it break past old highs and continue on in the beautiful uptrend that it is in. Let's go down now to the daily. Daily looks pretty nice. So we have a low, high, higher, low, now a new higher high. What am I waiting for? Well, right now on the daily, there's nothing, but you could potentially see something on the lower time frames. The 8 hour is, it's not the best, but there's a trend there. You have a low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Right now, where it is right in this moment, it's in no man's land, like what we saw with the weekly. 4 hour, we're not convergent from this high to that high. When you compare the highs of the price with the highs so when you compare the highs of the MACD to the highs of the price, we are in fact divergent. That doesn't mean that the trend is going to reverse. It's just an observation that we make. So what am I looking at right now? 2 hour doesn't really tell us much. We start to go lower. What could we expect? So we have somewhat of a level here. And we have a cluster. If you're familiar with the strategies, you would know what I mean by that. The only issue I see with that is the fact that there is some resistance there as well. So, that could potentially stuff things up. But nonetheless, would be good to see a pullback into those levels. But as of yet, there's nothing on Bitcoin. Ethereum has had, arguably, better few days than Bitcoin. The reason I'm saying that is because I haven't really pulled back though. We're around the same. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to see the move from start to where it is right now. About 60% move on Bitcoin we've seen. It's just that Ethereum hasn't pulled back, so it's had a bigger move, it seems. Okay, bigger move on the daily anyway. So look, there's a low here, high, higher low, higher high. The trend isn't the most cyclistic. It's not the most cyclistic trend, if that's the correct word. I so badly hope that it is. And as you go up, trend is evident. Weekly here, well, we have somewhat of a trend. We have a low, high, higher, low. Now we have a higher high. And look, the nice bullish monthly candle from last month. Now this month as it stands, only 11 days in, we're seeing a nice bullish candle. You know, will we break past these highs of around $4,400 US? You know, that remains to be seen. And we just have to wait and see what happens. All right. So, what do we see? I see somewhat of a level here. We do have convergence. Would be nice to see. Okay, that's a pretty much spot on cluster. That's up to you if you deem that level good enough to trade off. Doesn't look too bad. It's just a bit of a mess here when you start looking at the 2 hour. If you know the Fibonacci booster strategy, you understand what I mean when I'm saying that. But that's not to say that if we see a pullback into this level here, a small bullish candle might present itself and it might set us up with a trade, you know. But as always, you're gonna have to check it against the rules if it were to eventuate into anything. So we have a pretty damn nice trend here on the 12 hour for Binance coin against the US dollar. You know, the daily, you know, it's not showing us the best of trends, but there's definitely a trend there. As you start to go higher, that trend is more evident. So you have a low, high, higher low, higher high. And I assume that the monthly, look, there's not much data there, but yeah, there's not much to say about that just because there's not much data. But let's have a look at this. So I'm going low. And the reason why I'm going low is because it looks like there are some nice trends as you go low. We have trend on the 1 hour, so we have a low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. You know, you can call that, no, you can't call that a higher high. It's just all through here, that's one movement. So we do have trend. Do want to look, if something were to happen, you know, it could potentially be on the 30-minute. We'll have to check that one later on. So, Cardano. Look, there's some nice trends here, you know. We've seen, look, I didn't mean to go to the 4 hour, but we'll go with that. So all through here, you know, nice trend going on. Pulled back a little bit deep. Pushed on, found some sort of resistance here, pulled back, and then we just exploded. All right, we just exploded on through. Will this trend pull back now? It may. It may not. No, okay. I was just trying to look for a round number there. I'm just trying to delete this thing. Alrighty, so Cardano, like the ones before it, have it's trending nice, and it could present us with some opportunities to the upside. The top 10 so far is looking pretty good, and bullish momentum seems to be coming back, which is a plus. If that's one thing you can take from this so far, it looks as though bullish momentum is starting to come back in, and you know, we can trade short, obviously, but throughout here we were seeing selling, but I don't think we saw the best downtrends. The selling was very short and sharp, and you know, I can bet that people did find entries on there. I didn't find many personally. just because the trends weren't the best. You know, when we had the bear market in 2018, the downtrends were nicer. We were finding better short trades, but in this, it's not, can't call it a bear market because it wasn't, but with this last few months or whatever it was of selling, there wasn't the best downtrends. It was more so like emotional and erratic. So those types of market conditions don't usually develop the best trends or provide us with the best opportunities. Anyway, bit of a side tangent there. Alrighty, so what am I waiting for here on XRP? I'd like to see a pullback in on the 4, potentially to the 50% fib level. There's no round number really in there. I didn't take you to the higher time frames. Trending on the daily, also trending on the 2-day. Low, high, higher, low, new higher, higher. Looks like there's some resistance here. So where does that sit? So I'm going to go higher first just to show us where we're at right now. Weekly, look. Look at that big candle. Almost as big as that. It's insane. Still didn't reach all-time highs though, which, you know, it's a bit of a shame, but we've broken past the old month's highs. And now let's see if we push on. Could well and truly push on. Or we might not, who knows. But yeah, look. The lowers could end up showing us with some opportunities, but nothing there. Good positive price action though. Doge, look, there's not much to say about Doge at the moment. I feel like the hype is gone, and I bet you someone's going to tweet about it and someone's going to make the price go bonkers. Okay, because, you know, that's just what happens. It's the market that we're in. It is what it is. It doesn't lead us to the best trading opportunities as trend traders and rule followers, but it does, you know, give us some sort of excitement or some drama. Yeah, look, nothing to say really about Doge. Doesn't have the best trend at this stage. DOT. So, what's the go with DOT? No real trend here on the daily. So we have a low. Now we just have a high. Looks like it's pulling back in on the higher time frames. So the weekly is actually downtrending. And there's not enough data here to really assess what's going on. But the weekly is downtrending, pulling back into the cradle zone. Could, you know, break past this high and then break the downtrend, or, you know, could do what we expect things to do when there's a downtrend and it reaches a cradle zone, and it could sell off again. It doesn't. I'm just letting you know that will not affect any of my decision making if I were to find a long trade on a weekly downtrend on the lower time frames I'm referring to, by the way. So on to UNIPERP or Uniswap, not UNIPERP, Uniswap. So as we go higher, we start to see there's no real trend because we have a low and then just a high. That's on the 4-day anyway. Weekly's not telling us too much, and we don't have enough data to make any assumptions or judgments on the weekly. On the monthly. Look, doesn't look the best, so we'll move on. SOLUSD. Somewhat of an uptrend here on the daily. And look, there's an uptrend here because we have a low, a high, higher, low. Now we have another higher high. So I'm just going through this now. Not much to say. And yes, as you assume, there's not really much data to judge the monthly off. So, what can we expect to see here? It's not the cleanest of trends as you go lower. Do we have any kind of support or resistance? Look, probably the cleanest trend here is the 8. So what would we do? Draw a fib in here from the low to the high. Would be nice to see it pull back into, you know, the 50% or even a round number of $40. You know, that's pretty. That'd be nice to see. And then yeah, assess whatever occurs with the trend. And yeah, alrighty, Litecoin. One of my favorite tokens. Reason being is it was one of the first crypto that I actually invested in all those years back. So always have a soft spot for Litecoin. What do we have here on Litecoin? So we had a bullish candle in the cradle zone of last month. We broke that high. Let's see what happens here. You know, looks like there was some resistance around 415 US dollars, something like that. You know, will we end up just busting on through that? All-time highs. I'll be a happy man because I hold Litecoin. But anyway, what shall we expect to happen here on Litecoin? I'll start off low, see if there's any resistance, or sorry, support now. It would be one test, two tests. What shall we see here? Oh, and we have a cluster. Dare I say, look, doesn't look bad, but you would have to assess it against your rules. And that's, yeah. Assess this against the rules. If it meets the rules, it meets the rules. If it doesn't, obviously do not take it. Okay. We are not a signal service. It's as simple as that. I just show you the charts, let you all know what I'm seeing, and go off that. So, what's the big takeaway from this market today, or this market right now? It's looking quite positive as it stands. I don't want to give it the kiss of death, but it's just it seems to be what it is right now. It's looking a lot better. Yeah, that is it from me. Really good to have you here. The chat was playing up for some reason. I didn't get any comments, unless nobody asked me anything, which it's not often, but it may have happened. Anyway, have a lovely